Alrighty, so today I'm going to be explaining about the FSDB protest called Stop Autism, which happened in 2017. So the term autism is often used during the protest. So according to Google, it's actually a term used to describe a negative attitude towards a deaf or hard of hearing person. It's typically thought of as a form of discrimination and lack of willingness to accommodate those who are deaf. So as you can see in this picture, it's a whole bunch of different parents and staff and even students protesting. All right, so here's some background information on the school itself. So in order to even apply for a job at Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, you have to know some kind of like a little bit of sign language if you're having like contact with students and everything like that. Um, Obviously, if you're working at a deaf school, you should go into it knowing that you're going to have to sign a little bit. But they are kind of lenient with the rule when it comes to positions that like don't have direct contact with deaf people. So, like for example, if you're an accountant and you sit in an office all day and you don't really talk to anyone that's deaf or anything like that, and you just do paperwork, they're obviously not expecting you to know a whole bunch of sign language. But for this specific protest, FSDB was hiring teachers who were not experienced in ASL. So, the students started failing school from a really young age. So the whole protest kind of started off with this lady. Her name is Deborah Metziger, and she moved to Florida and got a job at FSDB. And she realized something was off and something wasn't right. So she quit her job just after 2 months of working there so she could speak up for the deaf kids and the deaf community. So as the protest was going on for a couple days, everybody in St. Augustine basically knew about it. The St. Augustine Record did a couple pieces on it, and then the Daily Moth, who is a deaf man who does news reports, but completely in ASL. Like when we watched that coronavirus video, he was signed completely in ASL. He did a whole like news segment on it. The protest went on for a couple of days, and the president of FSDB, who she's hearing, she was willing to make changes and seemed in agreement with everything. Today, they are a lot better in who they hire. Now they have to go through multiple testing and multiple screenings to like place them on a level of how good they are at sign language. And the Bye Bye Act and the Total Communication rules are now in place. Yeah, so that's kind of an overview of the Fight Autism protest that happened at FSTB.